So let's start recording. Yeah, hello guys. So today we'll be look into a problem that is called Trionic Array II. So it was a weekly contest on 461, and I had already solved it. So I'll just explain the problem and try to explain the answer solution itself. So let's see. Okay. So the problem is something like this. You are given an integer array nums of length of an a trionic subarray is contiguous subarray nums of L to R with indices of 0, L, R and N, for which there exist indices L, P, Q, R. Means inside this array there are somewhere an indices L, P, Q, R, which we have which we have to cut the whole array and part the sub array where these points exists, such that the sub array of L to P strictly increasing, P to Q strictly decreasing, and Q to R is strictly increasing. And just to let you know, like strictly increasing um, does not include the duplicate values. So something like if uh, 0 and -2 is strictly decreasing, if there was -2 here also, then then this sub array should not be strictly decreasing, because -2 will be here and -2 will be here. They both are the same. So just keep in mind that strictly increasing means it should be increasing at every point of time, and strictly decreasing means it should decrease at every point of time. It should not be equal to its previous value, or its uh, its previous value. So so let me explain the solution itself. Let's let's go here and okay. So let's take an example here, something like this, and try to explain what it says. So what we have to do is we have to choose four indices, that is L to P, P to Q, and Q to R inside the given subarray, so that first subarray should be increasing. So we have to look for an subarray inside the given array that it should be strictly increasing. So let's see. First, 0 to -2, it's decreasing, so it's not increasing. And -2 to -1, it is increasing. Then -3, it's not increasing, it's decreasing. So first array, first strictly increasing subarray should be this, that is -2 to -1, because it's strictly increasing. Then second subarray says it should be strictly decreasing. So at the point -1 to -3, it's decreasing. Okay. Then 0, it's not decreasing, it increases. So this subarray is increasing. So this will be our next subarray, that is strictly decreasing. This increase, let's point it out. Increasing, it's decreasing. And third here. After that we will look at here, like -3 to 0, it's increasing. Okay. To 0 or to 2, it's increasing. Yeah, it's increasing. -1, it suddenly decrease, so we will not consider -1. We'll just take these. It's increasing. Then the sub array that we get from all of them is something like -2, -1, -3, 0, and 2. We will sum it up, and it should be -3, -6, -4. -4 is the sum of the subarray that follows the instruction that is given in the problem. That is, first subarray should be increasing, second subarray should be decreasing, third subarray should be increasing. Okay, so it follows that. Then after that, what we can do, we can check for another subarray that follows the same instructions itself. But as you can see, like here, if we consider this third as a first subarray, if we consider this as a first subarray, then we will check that from here to afterward, like it is decreasing or not. Yeah, it's decreasing 2 to -1. So we will consider second decreasing as 2 to -1. But after that, there are no subarray, so it's there's no point of calculating and maximize the sum, because one increasing is missing in this subarray itself. So we can't like take the subarray of this portion itself. So we'll just exclude it from the solution. So this is the maximum subarray. So you understood the problem? Like there can be more than more than one sub array that follows these types of rules, and gain we can gain the um, we can gain the leverage on the calculation that we have already calculated the third array. We can consider this third as a first, and then again look for the decreasing subarray and then increasing subarray. So I think if I will code here, then it will be more clear. So let's look into the solution. So first of all, we will answer something like -2 float infinity, because the range of this is 10 to the power -9. The number is 10 to the power 9 minus 9, so it will be long. We'll take answer as minus infinity so that we can maximize the answer. And will be the length. Sum is the first subarray from which we have to calculate, like here 0, and a will be the 0. A represent like first increasing order, b represent the second increasing, c represent b represent the second decreasing, and c represent the third increasing order. This increasing is this represent a first increasing a, decrease representing b, and second increasing represents c. We take this as a flag or something, we can take it as a boolean also, it doesn't matter. So we took a as a 0, and we will loop through the array from 1, because we have already taken the num0 as a sum. Then what we will do is like we will reset every decreasing and third first decreasing and second increasing order to 0, because we can use third increasing as a first increasing for the second cycle. Like this was the first cycle, and let's say if there was another value that is 3, then it is possible to consider this as a first. Why? Because if I take this as a first, then what will be the second? What will be the second? Second will be um, 2 minus 1, that is decreasing, and third will be the minus 1 comma 3. This is increasing. Okay, and what will be the subarray? For this subarray we have calculated minus 4 value, but for this subarray, what will be the answer? Let's see. So the answer will be something like minus 3, 0, 2, minus 1, and 3. What will be the sum of them? Minus 3, minus 1, minus 2, and 1. 1 will be the answer here. So what is the maximum sub array that we have calculated? Then the answer will be the 1. This sub array follows the rule that is described in the question, and it is the maximum sub array that we have calculated so far in the array itself. So that's why we are resetting the B and C value, because we does not need to calculate again the first increasing order, because it will already will be provided from the previous calculation. So that's why we are not uh, resetting the A value, just resetting the B and C. Then what we will do, we will then loop through I to this uh, until the previous value is greater than the current value. Previous value is less than the less than the uh, next value, means it is in increasing order. And if the next to next value is also increasing, then what we will do, we'll check that the sum that the sum of this is greater or not, because as you can see here in the question, we have three indexes that we are calculating, or from which we are deciding the range from which to which we have to take the subarray. But what you can manipulate here is L and R, because they are the corner points of the subarray. So what we can do, from the first string strictly increasing point, what we can do, we can manipulate the L itself, because if let's say if here it will be minus 3, let's say it is minus 3, so minus 3 to minus 2, minus 2, so minus 1. It is increasing, but it is lowering our value, because all of them are minus negative points. So what we can do is we can just ignore this minus 3, and we can skip this minus 3, and we can just take minus 2, minus 1 as a subarray for first increasing point. But how does we know that we have to skip the minus 3? What we can do is we can calculate the current sum, and take the maximum sum, where we can check if the minus including the current num of I, and the till now the sum that is calculated is greater than the current num that we have taken. So we will check like minus 3 and minus 5 is minus 5 and minus 2. The sum of till now is greater than the this, and this we will check only and only if the increasing the next order is increasing. Because if you have like took the maximum of them, then the sec and if the second indices is not increasing, then there is no point of taking one element in an sub array, because it doesn't matter, like it doesn't show that it is increasing or decreasing or anything. So we have to make sure that the next element should be increasing. Then we will take the maximum of all the previous element to the current element. So that's why we have done, like we are checking the next element is increasing or not. Then we will take the maximum of it. And if it is not increasing, then we simply have to like plus the element from the nums of I. After calculating that, we will throw the flag of A as a 1, which represent we have calculated the first increasing point in our array. And then what we will do, we will increment the I. After that, what we can after that the uh, decreasing subarray we have to take. And here we cannot manipulate any any of the points, because it is in between the increasing and decreasing. So we cannot like change p and q, because it is in between, and yeah, it's in between, so we cannot change it. So here just we will be checking that I is in range, and it comes from the increasing point of time, that then and only then we will be increasing. Then then only we will be like checking the decreasing severity, calculating the severity, and it should be decreasing also. And then we will just like sum all the nums, and we will true the flag b as one, which represent the we have already calculated the decreasing point. We have already gone through the decreasing and we have calculated the decreasing. Then we will increment the I. After that, this is the most tricky part. This is the most tricky part that I will try to explain it, but I don't know like if I will able to explain it or not. So let's see. Here, what we are doing is first of all, we are here calculating the answer till now. What is the answer of the array? And this the value is calculating for um, value is calculating value is value is calculating the same as first survey, that what is the maximum that we can get from the third increasing point. So value is not calculating the answer, it is just calculating for the next sub array value, so that uh, it can be used on the next iteration. Like in this like in this we are taking the sub array this, but what we can do is we can skip the minus 3 itself. Then it is itself also increasing. We can just remove the this. It's also following the same thing, but what we have done here is like we have excluded minus 3. He we have excluded minus 3 from here but included here because we have already taken the decreasing order, but at the start we have not decided like where to start it, so we can choose where to start and where to end. Oh yeah, where to start it. But inside this we cannot choose because it is already chosen by decreasing array that where we have to stop it. We have to stop it at minus 3. Then we have to start it at minus 3 for the next sub array here. But at this point of time we don't need to we don't need to uh, take in consideration that we have to start at minus 3 because this is the starting subarray that is increasing, so it doesn't matter. And the answer is also will be, that is 4. So value is calculation for the next iteration, and answer is calculation for till now. What is the answer we have got? So here the same condition will be applying, that I is less than n, and the same thing here. Sum will be like sum of all the elements because we cannot control the next elements itself, and we will just take the maximum of the answer from here, the current answer with the maximum answer, because like we can include the num of I or we can exclude the num of I from the answer itself, because on the first sub array we can choose a starting point, but on the third sub array we can choose the ending point also. So if we so that's why we are taking the maximum of the sum here, and the same go, and the value is calculated for the next iteration, so that it will consider this value as a sum for the first increasing point. So this will not run, it will start running from the decreasing point of time. Then after that, what we are doing is it's the same as the above one, like this condition is same, just the value we have taken, and that's it. And after that we will be okay. So where were we? So yeah, so what was yeah, so the intention of value here is calculating the sum of the maximum sum of the first increasing point that we can that we can take for the next iteration itself. And here we will be flagging the C as a 1, which represent the third iteration is increasing, third iteration is calculated, and I increasing here. Then he will check if all the iterations are calculated, the sum will be the value itself. So that this sum will not be calculated for the first increasing because we have already considered the third increasing as a first increasing. Yeah. If it fails to have this order itself, if it is increasing and increasing only, then it will not go through the decreasing, and then it will fail here, and it will go to the else part, where it will check for another subarray that follows the same. So it will be here, and then it will check it will check from that particular array sum take, taken as a num minus 1, num I minus 1, like this one, and a will be 0 because we have to again calculate the first increasing point, as it does not uh, it does not calculate any of the subarray itself, and we will be just returning the answer. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you. Bye.